Greetings, greetings, family. Sister Shanice in the house for another Sister Shanice show alongside Dr. Abu. Rise up, Dr. Abu.
Voodoo Empress, all the time. Voodoo to
As
all your family, home and abroad.
Always a pleasure, always a privilege to have you in the house looking, hey, fantastic, bombastic, blacktastic. Regal in your crown. Hey. Where you say, family? Those of you who are watching, let us know where you're watching us from. As always, we appreciate your comments. Let us know that you're in the house. We're going to be joined quite soon by our brother Jammers and also Ras Ho Shing. So keep it locked for another really insightful, interesting discussion today. Dr. Abu, how have you been since we saw you last?
Well, I'm holding on. Consider the circumstances. We can't leave the country. We can't leave the plantation. If we dare leave the plantation, a serious problem. But we can't give up. We've been through worse.
That's true.
And why if we work together, we can get through this. Why if we work together, we can get through this.
For real, absolutely agree with you on that, Dr. Abu. What a thing is, them going like them don't want us in them country, but when we want, they put policies in place to stop us from leaving. What a thing!
you see, that's the behavior of European terrorism. You ever drink chocolate tea yet? You never know said hot until you put your mouth down pan the cup. It didn't like it cold. This is the British way. I'm telling you. You know, a lot of people talk, oh, they're so moderate and nice. No. The American will tell you to get out, while the British they have a cup of tea and then kill your ass later.
For real. Oh, so let's welcome the family on board as you join us. I can see we've got 29 people in the house so far. Do spread the word. Let the family know that it's time to actually log on to the Sister Shanice Show for another interesting discussion. Rising up those of you in the house who are sending us messages already. Sifu has joined us and is watching us from Chicago in the USA. Wow. And we've got Ras Brookfield. Yeah, rise you up, Brother Ras, saying, greetings, family. Where are you watching us from, Brother Ras? Let us know. So we'll just give the family a few moments to join. And, you know, as you're joining us, please do give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. Would much appreciate that. And also, as you come in, drop us a note in the chat. Let us know where you're watching us from. Hey, we got JJ saying, one love family watching from the UK. Okay, and we've got Brother Anthony in the house as well. Woo, woo, woo. Dr. Abu, do you want to tell the family what times your shows are on the Big G Galaxy Alpha, the only de-brainwashing station?
Well, Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Sometime I go over a little and over to the Prophet. And then Monday evening from 4 to 7 alongside DS Jammers, you know. And on Friday alongside the 492 Corner Club from 3 till 7 p.m. in the evening.
Wonderful.
You know, sometimes you have to go in and just sit in to cover. You know, you understand? So we just around.
Yeah, so there you have it, family. If you want to rap and have a one-to-one with Dr. Abu, log in on Sundays, Mondays, or Friday afternoons, okay, GMT time, and call in or Skype in from anywhere in the world. Okay, so that's on the Big G Galaxy Afiri radio. You'll also find our brother Jammers on that radio station, and also Prophet. And I must say, Prophet sends his profound apologies today. Unfortunately, he's unable to join us today. And he sends his apology to the family, because we know that you all, love to hear and have his input in the shows as well. But we got Brother Jammers joining us at some point, hopefully very soon. And we've also got Rasso Shing, who's going to be joining us from Jamdown, Jamaica. Yes, yes, yes. And also, I've added a new feature, In Conversation with Sister Shanice, a series of African-centered lectures. So straight after this show at 10 p.m. GMT time, you can log out and then click on the other link, come straight back in again for a conversation with Brother Franklin Jones. There were some of you in the chat who were saying, hey, what about the Americans? Why don't you get some Americans on as guests? Well, tonight we do have, straight after this show, a brother all the way from America by the name of Franklin Jones, who is going to be breaking down the science behind why we think the way we do. It's the title of the topic is Black Skin, White Mind. Did you know that it was a science? Anyway, if you didn't and you want to know how science works, keep it locked. Dr. Abu.
You know, our brother Wayne Lashley. You understand? White madness, black slavery. It's the same thing. You know, in it is explaining how they give the population this commercial happiness. You know, and we all running at it, and but we are not happy. It's just a commercial thing, and we go along with it. You see, Sunday morning everybody happy, and Monday morning them have to pay them damn bill. You understand? So we run with the lie, and it's this lie killing us. You know, we know that these things doesn't do nothing for us. It's like a plastic, but it become an habit. You know?
And if we were to design society for ourselves, what sort of society would we make to make ourselves happy, do you think? So, we know that as a people, say, living in the UKKK, the vast majority of us are not happy there. We don't have that sense of freedom. Our culture is suppressed and undermined and ridiculed. We know the history of oppression that we have felt and continue to feel there. So if we were to make the changes so that we could have a society in which we could be happy, Dr. Abu, what would that society look like for you, do you think?
Well, first of all, we have to base it on truth. We can't have a society where we are talking about alternative lifestyle. That's not a society. That's a free range thing. You understand? We can't have a society where there's contortionists fooling the people and we don't even know a man from a woman. And a society that is a free range farm. You understand? We want something based on the Mahat principle. That's a society. You understand? That we can look forward to our own riches and things more than I look towards the European angels and all of these things. We are not in a society right now. We are in a concentration camp.
Vudum, Dr. Abu, we're in a concentration camp, not a society. And this concentration camp is getting more restrictive as the days go by. Okay, let's have a look over to the chat and see what we've got going on there. Hey, we got Surfer in the house. Rise up, Surfer. He's saying, Vudum, Dr. Abu, and Vudum, Empress Shanice. Vudum, back at you, my brother Surfer. Brother Surfer, he's the one that has designed the Galaxy Afiwi app. Rise up. And yes, and he's also devised for us the Summit of Solutions website. So if you go to summitofsolutions.com, that's www.summitofsolutions.com, you will be able to find our newly launched Summit of Solutions website. Now, on this Summit of Solutions website, if you go under campaigns, there's a form called the Vaccines Database. What we are doing is, rise up, brother jammers. What we're doing, family, is we are going to be recording and monitoring all of our family members who take the vaccine. Yes, now we know, despite all the information that's out there to the contrary, the mainstream is very persuasive and has been persuasive in encouraging our people to take the vaccine. Well, you know, we feel that it's that we are duty bound to monitor the impact and the effects of those vaccines on our people. So we created this database, and we want, if you know anyone who's taken a vaccine and you get their permission, we want you to put all the details in our website. So you go to www.summitofsolutions.com, go to the vaccines page, which is under campaigns, because we've got a campaign going for this, and fill that form in with all the details, letting us know what vaccine they took, whether it was the Pfizer or the Johnson & Johnson or the AstraZeneca or Moderna, which vaccine it was, when they took the vaccine, who gave them the vaccine, where it was that they took the vaccine, and some details of the individual concerned, and your details as well, saying that you've got the permission of the person to put their information on it. Because what we want to do is we want to be able to monitor the impact the vaccines is having on our community. Now, we know the mainstream is doing some monitoring, but we also know that there's a lot of information that's being hidden, because almost all of us probably know someone who's actually died from taking the vaccines. But where is that information? So we want to keep a record of that information. We want to take responsibility for monitoring what's happening in our community and for having that information firsthand. So here we are, we're getting involved in collecting primary data. In order for that data to be, you know, really useful for us as a community, we need as many of you as possible who know someone who's taken a vaccine to actually put that data in. Okay, let's welcome Brother Jammers. Yay!
Greetings,
Welcome,
greetings.
How you
glad to be here once again. Glad to be here once again. Looking forward to what's going to take place today. You know, and I'm happy. I like to hear that we're doing it. This is what we need to do. We need to set up our own commission, our own board, conduct our own business, so we become the authority on what happens in our community.
Absolutely, I like that. So we become the authority. Yes, indeed. So that's certainly what we're trying to do here.
Obviously, the exercise that I was running this morning when I split up that rose.
Yeah. Oh yes.
I send it out to all so you can identify, and this is where we are in the conversation. I have peace. You have peace, Jammers have peace, and because we are not together, we think that what we have is the truth. You understand? You know, without us come together, we don't have the full picture, sis. And that is the problem that we are in. You know, that's the problem that we are in. We see how them gather their people to herd their people. Why didn't we do something like that to persuade our people against? You understand? This is what I'm saying, that we are not thinking collective. Everyone is doing their little piece, but we have to do collective. You understand? We have to send out message out there to the young people that we are together. Stop the killing. You know, we from so and so that. And when them see that there's a collective, but we just do things individual, because the individual go with the funding. You easier to get funding as an individual than as a group. You know, see, so we split up the group just to get the funding, and then the children suffer. You know, it's the same thing when they was doing their referendum. I come and I call, that's we do. We have an emergency meeting. They said I'm crazy. You understand? Our own people said you're crazy, and I'm said, even before the crisis, if you remember, even before this crisis, and when it just break. We said, let's have an emergency meeting. They said, no, we don't need that. We are waiting for this and we are waiting for that. So here we are now. Here we are, you know?
Here we are. Yes, indeed. And absolutely agree. We all have a piece of the puzzle. Each and every one of us have got our respective skills and talents. And if we bring all of those skills and talents together, and work together, then we can certainly be making a lot of great progress at a faster pace as well. And meetings are important. Gatherings like this are important as well. And I want to rise up everybody that attended our Summit of Solutions Health Day event on Saturday. What a beautiful event that was. And at that event, we heard from our own practitioners, health practitioners, who are at the forefront of actually saving our brothers and sisters who the so-called mainstream medical institutions were saying, we have to cut off your limbs, we have to take off your leg due to diabetes. But our brothers, our practitioners said, you come and see us. You come and see us, you don't need to lose that leg because of diabetes. And sure enough, our brother didn't need to lose his leg. And there were so many more of those sorts of examples of the great works that our brothers are doing using our traditional medicine. And so it was a great event indeed. We launched the Summit of Solutions website there, and it's an example, of when we do come together as a people. I know often enough, but when we do, it's an example of the skills and talents that we've got within our community. So it was a beautiful event, and yes, as a people we need to do more. Okay, let's see what comments we've got in the chat. So we've got store on Isa saying, press the like button, black people, press the like, black people. Yes, please do press the like button. It doesn't cost you anything to do so. You just need to have a YouTube account, which you can have once you've got a Gmail account, okay? Just open up in your Gmail, in Google, and then you'll be able to like, you'll be able to comment, you'll be able to contribute to the discussion. And Sister Grace P is saying, greetings everyone, and I love to Abu Shays. Hey, she's greeting us from London. Ras Broomfield, yes, he's saying, any of you take it. The vaccine, we don't take it, we not gonna take it. Hey, watch Jammers now, son of one, I forgot get my one soon. Hey, very nice, Jammers. Me not take it. Dr. Abu, you take it, you are gonna take it. In my house if we take it.
Me, no, sir. Me at the back of the queue. Me I watch to see you go on. Me now become a sheep.
Me back at you. You think you're at the back? Me back at you. Hey. Them have to run me down to catch me.
Yeah, man.
Oh, Jammers, you take it. Oh, raising black children. The handle for raising black children. Rise up, Jammers. Okay, looks like we've got Brother Rasso Shing in the background. Here we go. Rise up and welcome Brother Rasso Shing from Jamaica. As you can see the weather's looking glorious over there, just like a summer's afternoon. How you doing, Brother Ras?
Blessings to you, Sister Shanice. Blessing, family. And as what we always say, in the presence of the Most High, the Supreme Creator, blessings to our family right across Mother Earth. Wonderful moment, wonderful time. Unity is a must, and there's only one reality. That must be our vision for 2030.
Ashe, absolutely our vision for 2030. Hey, rise up, known saying, greetings, family. Sis Shanice, you look extra beautiful this eve. Thank you so much. This outfit was made by my Gambian tailor. Picked the material out myself down at the market here in the Gambia. And yeah, I think he's done a great job. I'm going to interview him at some point so you can see some of his wares. And he can make outfits for you and get them in the post to you. And he's so good. I'm definitely going to have to promote him. Sister Baroness in the house. Rise up, Sister V. Good to see you in the house as well. Sake Bojam saying one love to all the black family. Oh, enough love. Stolen Earth. Greetings. Rise up. And we've got Taneo watching from California. Beautiful. We got family from the UK. We got family from Chicago. Yeah, let us know where you're watching us from. Yeah, we want to get an idea of the spread. Hey, Grace P is loving. She's just laughing. Kimani saying, watch Jammers. I think that's when you do put on your glasses. Watch Jammers. And Russ Broomfield is laughing and saying, belly, I hurt him. Me soon get for my glasses too. Very nice, family. Yes. I love it. Love it. Okay, well, you know, today's topic for discussion is, as you know, the report that was commissioned, the Commission on Race Equality and Ethnic Disparities report. What a controversial report that is indeed. Wow, wow, wow. So for those of you who don't know, because, you know, you may not be in the UK, because we do have some viewers, as you know, who are not from the UK. So let me just tell you a little bit about the report. Let's get the document up. So the Conservative government actually commissioned a group of people to produce a report. This was shortly after the George Floyd incident and the uprisings that was happening across the nation and across the world. Okay, so you know, we've been saying for a long time here in the UK, and reports have been saying that the UK is institutionally racist, and that they need to implement some firm policies and recommendations, you know, to do something to address the racism that we're experiencing here in the UK, in the education sector, the police institutions, from local authorities, the criminal justice system. I mean, in every facet of society, it is, you know, just riddled with racism. And so the government actually agreed to commission a group of people to put together a race and ethnic disparities commission and to write a report. The chairman was Dr. Tony Sewell. And I must say, the report came out about 7 days ago, and there has been a media frenzy about this report. Also, not just a media frenzy, but many organizations as well have picked up on what the media has been saying, has picked up on some aspects of this report. And, you know, wow. If that amount of energy had actually been put into, you know, some of the more constructive aspects of this report, I think it would have gained quite a lot of momentum in the right direction. But let's look at the direction that it has been going first of all, shall we? There's been a lot of criticism about the report, and let's go around the table and hear the views of the panel members first of all about the criticisms that have been made of this report, starting with Dr. Abu.
Budum family, Rasa Singh, Wolipa Vibration, the man Jammers, and you, Sister Shanice, Wolipa Vibration.
Wally.
We don't have a report. We have a report. It report as something and confusing. You know, see what I'm saying? I am not waiting for a report to tell you the state that I'm in. I know that this place is institutional racist. You understand? Whosoever paid the piper, call the tune. You understand? And the reason why they don't want to say Britain is institutional racist, because the biggest institution of racism in this country is the BBC. You understand? You know, I will not, how can I blame the police when the police come under the heading of the Home Office? How can you blame the police when the police come under the heading of some of these local authority? You got to blame the owner. You can't blame the dog for bite you. You have to go blame the owner. You understand? We are not looking on the whole thing and see how certain things is happening to us here. They are diverting us. And I tell us about them have this report. They don't have a report. Them have a report. It report as something. You understand? It report at the McPherson report. It report at the Scarman report. It report at, and what they do, they just patch up certain things to make the people them feel happy. What I'm saying, Aya, the health service is institutional racist. It takes this crisis for us to see that. The immigration, the whole Home Office, with that blouse not coolie woman night there, is institutional racist. And we as African people should demand that the Englishman, the British white man stand up and face this. I don't want no Indian people to come stand up to face when me go to make my demand. We go to make a demand and them come push a coolie in front of us. Where can push a coolie for? You understand? They've been pushing these Indians for a long time. Them use them, you understand, as buffer between us and them. And today we're facing it here when we have this Home Office and we are running things as one of we. It's not one of we, it's one of them. And it's full time, right? We can't mix up the goat with the sheep blood. A serious thing. It's full time we realize that we don't have a report. We have a report. A report. It report as something and it's gonna rip our ass if we don't get together and realize that we got to get together. I want to see the report, a report now coming from our Pan-Africanist organization. This is what we have to do. This is what we have to do. And then we say we have something. You know, see, voodoo all the time.
Voodoo, Dr. Abu, thank you so much for those open remarks about the report. We don't have a report, we have a rip out. What say you, Brother Jammers?
Well, I would have been more surprised if it was if anything else was been written. I'd be more worried, you know. So look at the word conservative. It's a conservative party. Conserve means to keep things as they are. You know, so basically, this is what all the thing is, to keep things as they are. It's not to give of any form of anything to us. And power doesn't concede power. You know, as Dr. Abu said, you know, we really need to be making our own report. You know, they wouldn't care about any report we wrote about them. You know, the Chinese wouldn't be caring about any report written about somebody other than the Chinese. So we have to put ourselves in a state where we write our own reports and we don't care what anybody else has written. You know, later on I'll be breaking down this report. But as I said, it's just, as conservatives says, to keep things as they are.
A very interesting perspective there, as always, from Brother Jammers. It's a conservative report to conserve the status quo. Woo! What say you, Brother Rasso Shing? Brother Rasso Shing's joining us from Jam Down, Jamaica, so not sure if he's had a chance to read up on the report. But Brother Rasso Shing, first of all, have you had an opportunity to look at the report?
Well, my sister, because we have a long history of all the reports that's already been done. When they decided to come against the enslavement of Africa, they produced a report for that. When they decided our treatment across the Atlantic, there was a report for that. So I don't need to read any report because that is their report. And what they must report is what our brother said. They must maintain the order. So we do not expect any different from their report. And as what Dr. Abu said, what is more important now is what is our report. We've already seen enough of their report, but what we now need is our report, and our report can only be one reality. There is a separation between those who want to be rehabilitated and maintain the status quo of the enslaver, and there's those who wants to return to the land of our ancestor, and we're now taking action in order for us to accomplish that mission. We've just had the passing of a great leader, President Magufuli. And as you can see, my sister, Magufuli was successful because not only did he brought what was right and just for the nation, but the nation was one with him. So all the major development that we saw happen, it just shows you what Africa can do when the right leaders are now leading the people for the benefits of our nation. So what has been done in Tanzania must be done right across all regions. And what he has done is embarrass the African leaders who has been so corrupted all these years and selling out our interests as if our wealth is common. And as what he said, all the agreements that were signed by our African so-called leaders, they must have been drunken fools to have signed those agreements. And we can now rescind all the agreements that has been signed and declare that the president of whatever state must have been a drunken fool to have signed such agreement and given all our rights to a nation for nothing, because that's what it is. You cannot give Africa your euro, the pound, or the dollar. Africa doesn't need that. We can equate our own narrative to the wealth and benefit of our nation. We don't need no one. Africa needs the world. Africa doesn't need the world, my sister. So this report is no different. And as far as I'm concerned, this report is for those who want to be rehabilitated and to give in their rights and justice within their system. But as for me, it means nothing. Nothing to me.
Rise up, brother Rastoshi. We hear you loud and clear to you. The report means nothing at all. Yes, because, you know, as Ras pointed out, you know, some of us, our primary objective is to repatriate, is to take ourselves out of the lion's mouth and return back to Mama Africa. But there will be those who don't want to return to Mama Africa and who are going to be remaining in the UKKK, and they're going to be there with their children, and their children will be having children there. And so, you know, it's incumbent upon those of our members of our community in particular, I would say, to want to be addressing racial inequality. Now, I hear what you're saying about the report not meaning anything at all, but I think, you know, and it's even been posted in the chat, for some of us living in the UK, racism is real. Racism is like a barrier that is in the way of our progress and our development. Go to the banks for loans, we're less likely to get loans to start up in business. You could come out of university with a first-class degree, you're still less likely to be employed in a job that is commensurate with your qualifications in comparison to your white counterpart. As a young black boy, you're walking on the streets, you're how many times more likely to be stopped and searched by the police. You know, the racial profiling that goes on there, the crime matrix system. I mean, the extent of the racism that we as a people face in the UKKK is no joke for those who live there. It's no joke for those who are suffering it silently on a daily basis. People are suffering because of racism. And here comes a report that is expected to address these issues. And I think one of the biggest concerns that people had with the report is the fact that it's saying that it wants to do away with the term institutional racism. Let me tell you what it says in the report, just the paragraph here. It says, the commission was keen to gain a more forensic and a rigorous understanding of underlying causes of disparities. However, we have argued for the use of the term institutional racism to be applied only when deep-seated racism can be proven on a systemic level and not be used as a general catch-all phrase for any microaggression, witting or unwitting. And, you know, that was one of the paragraphs in the report that sent a huge frenzy across all the newspaper propaganda and various organizations. Dr. Abu, let me go to you first regarding your comments on that particular paragraph, please.
Again, I said, Empress, if you want to whitewash the word institutional racism and hide it under certain things, I can't go with that. You know, I can't go with that. Is what I'm saying, that I can't no say that man is Michael and I call her Michelle. I can't go with that. You understand? The whole thing about it, you know, we are in a situation You know, many of our people who are taking in these vibes in Africa, when they're in Africa, you have like a checkpoint, and you know where the checkpoint them is, ain't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so in the UK, the checkpoint follow you home, it follow you to the supermarket, it follow you to the bank, it follow even when you got the toilet, go pissed or to do all that. You understand? You know? The whole thing about it, this place is so damn racist. You understand? That some of us in the Caribbean and Africa think that this is a good place. So we will sell with 2 acre land, we will sell with 2 cows to come here, and when we come here, we realize that, as I said, if you know about chocolate tea, you think it's cold until you put your mouth on the cup and it's hang on your lip. And this is how Britain stay. And Britain keep our people in this way. You understand? Where instead of we to turn on the society and fight them, we fight one another. And this is how racist they are in Aya. You know, see? So I'm saying that the number one institution of racism is the BBC. The BBC. The BBC tell me that these things are going on in Africa. Mugabe is that, our leader is that, and it's the BBC perpetrated. You understand? With all the institution them behind it. Because the BBC can't do anything unless the Home Office give it the nod. You understand? And all of them gang up. But it's we have to come together. As I said, I don't read this report because it's a report. It reports something. I know, but you waste my time with that. I just listen to certain things. And if they're not saying the things them that we need to hear, we have to ignore them thing the blood. You understand? Because we've been hearing this for a long time. And nothing good come out of it. So why you think something will come out of it because we are going through this lockdown? And it's true we are going through this crisis and where them are trying to sneak this in. We got to wake up, sis. We got to wake up. Simple as that.
Rise up, Dr. Abu. We've got to wake up and do for self. Brother Jammers, you know, the report was arguing that the term and the use of institutional racism should be applied only when deep-seated racism can be proven on a systemic level and not to be used as a general catch-all phrase for any microaggression, witting or unwitting. What do you say, Brother Jammers?
Well, it's the same old tactic that they use against us, you know, to rob us of our land, our resources, to separate our family, things that we can see, feel and touch. Tangible things is land, resources and family. It's the same trick that they give us an idea to fight over. They give us a belief to fight over. Once you control the belief or concepts, then you control the people who move to that belief you've installed. So, as I said again, we have been distracted of land, resources, and doing tangible things, fighting over the ideas that they've inserted in us. So when you look at things like disparity, you look at things like that, it's an idea, it's a European idea. We were never separated by a land space before. In nature, people just travel to different parts as their population increases. They were the ones who started to define us by a location, so they could enforce control of movement on the location. And it's the same thing with the report. When you look at the context of the report, it's about fairness, trust. It's all about ideas. It's not about tangible resources that you can see, feel or touch. So it's another trigonometry that they're throwing at us to argue and fight over. But there's nothing in the report saying how much money we are going to be getting, how much schooling is going to be improved, how much resources we are going to be getting. It's all about a concept or an idea. So everything gets lost in intellectualism, in words that have no meaning or are open to different interpretations. So it's all a fallacy in relation to into the result. I'll go into a bit more in detail after Ras has talked to us again. Respect.
Right up, Brother Jammers. So if there's no money to back up this report, it's just a load of hot air. Okay, I hear you on that one. Brother Rastashi, what say you about them suggesting that the term...
Well, first of all, if it was just institutionalized racism, we could burn down the building. But what we must understand is this. Racism is a religion that was taught to the white man from the very top to the very bottom. That is why the white man feels he can do anything because of what was religiously taught to him by his own churches. So we're not just dealing with institutional racism. Racism will always exist because remember, in the highest heaven, sin, they say, came from the highest heaven. So that should show you what racism is. It's not just institutional, it is incarnated in their now DNA, because this is what they were taught in their religion, that the black man wasn't a man and he needed a soul. So when we speak of institutional racism, there's no such thing, because if it was a building it was containing, then let's burn it down then. But that will never change the racism that is in the European man, that he believes that he's superior. That is why he thinks that the sin that he has done was done then, and it has no reasoning now. No, my brother, the sins that you've done is what you profit and what you continue with. So therefore, my sister, you will never get rid of racism, because racism is in the European, the Arab, and the Chinese. These are the three races who believe they're superior to the black man. And when we look in society, who is running the business? The Jews, the Arabs, the Chinese, and the Indians. So racism, my sister, we need to know how long it has shown itself amongst humanity. And it's not just institution, it's in their blood. That's what we're dealing with. That is why we have to discredit and abandon all their constitution. That is why you do not fight against their system. You leave their system and go back to the land of your ancestors. Leave Babylon business alone, my sister. Because Babylon will never change the nature, just like a leopard cannot change its spot. Babylon is evil. And just to correct you, my sister, we're not coming out of the mouth of the lion. We're coming out of the mouth of the beast and the dragon. The lion is we. That is why you only find a lion in Africa, and no other nation possess the lion. So there's no such thing as the British lion. There's no lions in England. But there's the beast and the dragon. There's Chinatown and there's Uptown of the Arab nation. They're all in London, aren't they? They're all in the most richest part of England, isn't it? So we know them. Of course we do. Let's stop fighting them, because it's a waste of our time. Let us now discredit and abandon them. Magufuli have shown us it is so easy for us to accomplish it. Look what he did in 5 years.
Ashe, look what he did in 5 years, indeed. Yes, my brother, you're right. You know, we don't need them. Africa needs us. And the racism is at the core, of who they are. It's in their blood. It's running right through them. We've certainly been seeing that for the last 500 years. And, you know, our brother doesn't see any changes happening there. So we shouldn't be surprised at what this report is saying. Also, let me just go to the report where it's talking about what lies behind disparity. It's saying, again, in terms of institutional racism, that we also have to ask whether a narrative that claims nothing has changed for the better, which is what has been said here on this panel, a narrative that claims that nothing has changed for the better, and that the dominant feature of our society is institutional racism and white privilege, will achieve anything beyond alienating the decent center ground. So they're saying that we understand the idealism of those well-intentioned young people who have held on to the amplified and intergenerational mistrust. However, we also, they say, have to ask whether a narrative that claims nothing has changed for the better and that the dominant feature of our society is institutionally racist and white privilege will achieve anything beyond alienating the decent center ground. So who are these decent center grounded people who we might be alienating? Please enlighten me, Dr. Abu, if you can.
Well,
oh, here we go. It says a center ground which is occupied by people of all races and ethnicities. Is there a growing center ground of people who feel alienated for us using the term institutionally racist? Institutional racism, you know, are we blinded not to be seeing that, you know, things have moved on? You know, who are these center ground? What's this sizable center ground of all ethnicities that are being alienated when we talk of white privilege? Please enlighten me if you can, Dr. Abu.
You see, the reality is what we are living. We're seeing our woman dying in labor in this country. This is what they call a first world country of the, and you have African women dying in labor because of the racism in the institution. You know, a couple of years ago, with Brother Milton, in the Caldecott, you know, what they was doing to black people in the hospital. You know, this is what I'm saying, that it doesn't matter how them nice it up and put it all this word, all disparity and all. I don't know a backside what that mean. All I know is that they are damn wicked. Them always using like a big word when you ask them how is our future gonna be? You know, optimistic your blows now. I want you to come out. You know why you're about no pessimistic and not optimistic. And why you tell me what you do? Because a lot of us does not know what that means. And this is where we fool black people. We go to certain place and this is how they use their racist thing, you know. They go to certain place and they use these words. And when them finish, the man them ask, away me say? And then black people come to the black community, our African people come to the African community to address them. You understand? And then when they don't talk, the people are saying, well, me just say. And these are what we have. We have some you understand? Some misinformation coming to us. You know, see it. We are at a stage right now, masses. A lot of our brothers and sisters here would love to go to Africa, and they can't afford to do it. You understand? You know? And we have a duty to help them, because I'm saying, when they was taking us out from Africa, nobody did check our bank account. Nobody did tell us that for us to get on the boat, we have to have money. So when I hear people say, we have money to go back to Africa, that is rubbish. We need to get together to go back to Africa. We don't need money to go back to Africa. We need to come together, you understand, and help those who even can't afford, you understand? Or else we're going to end up like a European. Some of us going to Africa, we're going there like a European blood. Because we forgot that some brothers and sisters beside us, you understand, need help. You know, are we going to run and leave them? Or are we going to help them? You understand? You know, these are the middle ground people we are talking about. You understand? Because them running away, but they can't run away from themselves. You know, I can't run away from my brethren Benji on the road because he doesn't have a ticket. I should help him. Help him to get a ticket. You know, help him to get a ground that when he come to Africa, he can be comfortable. I'm not gonna bring him to Africa to work for me. I'm gonna bring him to Africa that he work for us as a collective. But I see things are happening here. You know, see, and we the African people who should know better and do better. But I tell you, we're worse than some of these European or the behavior. You understand? And we have to get out of that. We have to organize or perish. And I'm not leaving my brothers and sisters behind. From them willing, because many are willing, but they are not able. And those who are able, they are not willing to help them own. You know, see? So it's how we look on certain things, blood. It's how we look at it. You understand? Because we are here today and we're gone tomorrow. And we can't take nothing with us. Nothing at all we can't take with us. You know, see? So we have to help one another. That's the only way we're going to survive this. Help one another. Vudum.
Vudum, Dr. Abu. Natron says if they pay back what they owe and get kicked out of South Africa, Britain would go back to being a destitute island. We'll never get back what they stole from us. We're going to have to take it by force eventually. What say you, Rasosh, to that comment there?
My sister, only we ourselves can repair the damage that they've done. You keep on hearing me saying over and over again, as it relates to hell, our people did not sin to go into hell. Our people was enslaved and was brought into hell. And from that time to this time, we have been in hell, my sister, without apology. So anyone who thinks differ, I know that we didn't die to go to hell. The white man brought us into hell. The Arabians brought us into hell. All the things that they did define all the reality of hell. And that is where we are, my sister. So I no longer look to no one apart to ourselves. Only we can repair the damage, both psychological, spiritual, emotional, you name it. What the black man and his family went through is only hell. That is what it was. It was hell. So when we now say it is time to turn our back from hell because we have survived hell and we are now going back to our kingdom, our heaven, that's what it is. So as far as I'm concerned, my sister, I am not racist, but I'm very prejudiced because of my life experiences, and I've seen what All Nation has done. I only work with my own people. I only see Africa unity. I don't see nothing else, my sister. So I am very prejudiced, but I am not racist. And there's a big distinction between racism and prejudice. You hear me? I prefer my own race because my race has suffered in hell. So that is why I care for my people, and I won't stop until when our people go back to the heaven of our ancestors. That is what I am dealing with. So I don't need no philosophy on teaching. I don't need no report, neither from the European, the Indian, or the Chinaman, the dragon. I don't need them. But I need my people. And it is time for us to return to our land, my sister. The land of our ancestor, the land that the Almighty gave to we without apology. That is what I am dealing with from the Caribbean, and particularly Jamaica, where we are the majority, right across the Middle Passage to the African continent. And we must take back position of being control of the sea. So we must have our own ships, our own shipping liners. And that is what we're dealing with in the Caribbean, from Panama right into the African continent, my sister. And that is where we are. All about liberation. Magufuli have shown us how what can be accomplished when we do things in the interest of our people. So we don't need no other model to follow. We've had Marcus Messiah Garvey. We've had His Imperial Majesty. We've had the great leaders of African unity. And we have so much assassination. We know the CIA and what they did, both to the Caribbean and to Mother Africa under Henry Kissinger. So I don't want to hear no more report. No, I don't want to hear no report. What I want to hear is when we're going to have our first ship. What I want to hear is when we're going to have our first development of our agriculture, both in Jamaica and Africa. That's what I want to report on. If you want to report to me, report on those things that is real to the Africans.
We hear you, Brother Rasso, loud and clear. And, you know, but because that is the topic for today, you know, we will continue with the discussion around this. But, you know, moving it forward, you know, we will be reporting on ferreting as well. And we'll report on ferreting as we go along as well. So I want to rise up everybody in the house. I hope that on your way in, you've given us a thumbs up and that you've given us a like. If not, please do so. It costs absolutely nothing at all for you to give us a like. Let's go over to Brother Jammers for some comments, please, Brother Jammers. And, you know, homing in on the term institutionally racist. This report has been trying to throw it out. They've been suggesting that, you know, it's being used too liberally and, you know, it's going to kind of offend this middle ground of people when, you know, the term institutional racism and white privilege is being thrown around in the way that they feel that it is being liberally used. They also go on to say that one of the key justifications for the Macpherson report's finding of institutional racism was the underreporting of racist crimes. Anyway, they're saying that's not the case now because there is now reporting of racist crimes. So I think for that reason, they were to be suggesting that we can no longer be using that term. But, you know, I would say that they quite rightly said that in the Macpherson report, it was just one of the key justifications, not the only justification for claiming institutional racism. So I don't think that, you know, this report has got that totally right. But they're saying the commission therefore feels that misapplying the term racism has diluted its credibility and thus undermined the seriousness of racism where it does exist in contemporary Britain. Okay, so they're saying, you know, that, and then if accusations of institutional racism are leveled against institutions, these should, like any other serious accusation, be subject to robust assessment and evidence that shows that an institution has treated an ethnic group differently to other groups because of their ethnic identity. So they're saying they want more, you know, more stronger, robust evidence of institutional racism, and that, you know, it seems to be getting used a bit too liberally since the Pearson report. What say you, Brother Jammers?
Well, if you look at the origination of the term racism, it's a word that they've invented, yeah? So any misdemeanor on the word racism comes from them. And it is a trick word. We've been fooled by this word, and it's kept our eye off what it's really about. Skin tone is a definition of racism. Once again, I'll say it again. Skin tonation and an area of land that you're living in is a definition of racism. But that's not what racism is about. Racism is about what the word says, a race to acquire power. It's competition. So basically, you race to be ace. Ace means to be first. So basically, and this is what humans do. They're in competition with each other. But they've tricked us into watching each other's skin tone and being passive in a competition. They're in competition with us. And they're in competition to be first. Inside the word race is the word ace. Ace means first. So they're in a race to be first, and first in acquiring power. Where does the power come from? The power comes from us. All war is fought against raw material. So the power source, the race, and it's in the history evident. The race is for the place with the most minerals, the most land, the most nutrients. So they're in competition to steal from us. And it's a competition of families. They're even against their own family when it comes to this. So about their family is fighting against their own family, racing to get the power from us. So they're in competition. It's not about skin tone. That's a product of it. That's how they measure their success in relation to how How much power have I got in relation to the people whose power I've stolen it from? Us. So basically, they're all in competition, and it's time that we wake up and realize that these families are in competition with us. So we have to be combative when we're in their environment. We have to become powerful in their environment. So once again, they're in constant competition to us, and we're the measuring stick of how powerful they are. So this is what we have to realize. Once again, race is a competition. And I'm just going to go into one of the words in the report. As I said, it's written in code. It's not written in plain English. It's not written for us to comprehend. It's written in code. So the first word, the word that you said is disparity. What is disparity? That just sounds like gobbledygook. Disparity is a Latin word. Dis means the distance, and it is the state of being on par with somebody. So disparity, how far away are you being on par with everybody else? That's what disparity means. How far away are we having equal opportunities in being par? So the first sentence, you've got to be worried about the first sentence on the report when it talks about disparity, because it's written in code. So this is what they say about disparity, how far we are away from being on equal terms in the report. It says, I'm reading it from the report directly, the idea that all ethnic people suffer a common fate and a shared disadvantage is an anachronism. So they've inserted another code word in there. I'll say it again. The idea, and this is the foundation, the first line of their report, and it's about disparity. The idea that all ethnic people suffer a common fate and a shared disadvantage is an anachronism. So we got to be worried about this term anachronism. So they've shown this in the first line. What is an anachronism? An anachronism is made up of 2 Latin words and 2 Greek words. The first word in the word anachronism is ana, which means wrong. Chronism comes from the Greek word time. So when you break down the word anachronism, it means a wrong time. So basically, it means it's belonging to another time. So once again, they're saying that the disadvantages that we are suffering together belongs to another time. It's not relevant now. So that's the first line. If you miss that line and start reading the rest, you've already lost the plot, what they've put in place. And this is what they're building their house on. And once you find out what they're building their house, the rest of the house will fall down. So once again, they're saying that whatever we're suffering belongs to another time. It's not relevant now. That's one line on the report. So this is what we've got to really be worried about. We've got to come together, because they said they're planning. We're not relevant anymore. The report basically said we're not relevant anymore. You know, everything in the past, it's of no relevance now. That's why they need to write a new report. They're wiping out anything that happened before, because they're putting forward a new ideal Britain that we're all together, an appearance that we're all together. So that's one line of the report anyway. So be careful of disparity and anachronism. They're planning for your downfall in this report.
Wow. Thank you so much for breaking that down for us, Brother Jammers. As always, when you give us these breakdowns, you know, there's just so much for us to think about. I mean, there's so much information just in words. And like you said, a lot of it is coded. So the race is on. It's about the races, the race between the races, and the distance, you know, with which they can, you know, be ahead of us, presumably within that race. And, you know, the real intention is to make sure that the status quo prevails as well. And we know that. So really interesting stuff. So we've looked quite extensively at institutional racism, got the views of the panel members regarding, you know, their perspective on what the report was saying about that, and breakdown of some of those acronyms. And let me go over now to some of the recommendations. And I was talking about these on my show earlier today, and we've already established that, you know, the ground itself on which this all stands is very shaky indeed. But, you know, nevertheless, you know, we've run away with the horses bolted from the stables, with the critiques around institutional racism that's been blasted all over the press. But I just also want to look at what hasn't been necessarily blasted all over the press, and that is some of the recommendations. So let me just quickly go through. Recommendation 1, challenge racist and discriminatory actions. It's saying that they should fund the Equality and Human Rights Commission to use its compliance, enforcement, and litigation powers to challenge policies or practices that either cause significant and unjust racial disadvantage or arise from racial discrimination. Let's go around the table, and there's so many recommendations. I'll just be drawing on comments from maybe each of them from our panel members. So starting with Dr. Abu. Dr. Abu, they're talking about actually funding. They're recommending that the government funds an Equality and Human Rights Commission that has some teeth, some powers to enforce and challenge racist policies and practices. What do you say about that?
Well, Vudum.
Vudum.
You got to reset the preset. You got to reset the preset. A lot of the British history book, you understand, need to burn. You know, they need to take out of the college and the university and burn. You know, when the police stop me first time, you know what the first thing I do? I used to go like me and take off my trousers, you know. Because I know that he's looking for a tail. You know, the majority of the Europeans did educated that we have tail blood. And when they stop with, they not look for ganja na gun, they might look for a tail. You understand what I'm saying? The Queen never addressed these issues when she do her yearly address on her birthday and things. She never come out and talk to the subject and say that the things them that we were reading in the classroom was wrong, and these Africans does not have tail. They are not swinging from like monkeys. What I'm saying that when the police them look how them hold down the brother there, George Florida, what him name. Them holding down like them that look for something. The tail. Lot of us will get stopped in England. They're not stopping because we have gun. Then stop it because them a look for your tail blood. You understand? And this is how we and our children going through life. Because remember, you know, they used to have human zoo. And who you think was in that zoo? Africans. You ever hear the Queen come out and address these things? Oh, my dear subject. You know, over the years, we used to see these people as that, but time has changed. Them haven't reset the preset blood. And if them doesn't do that, is we have to reset the preset. Because I'm telling you, the normal white man out there has been brainwashed just like me and you. The only thing that help him right through now is just white privilege. He's as daft even more than some of us. You understand? But we are not seeing it. Because we are taking a lead from them. I'm telling you. Anyhow, them stop you out there, drop your trousers, and then let you go. Because they realize that you're not on tail. We have to be wise in them time, your blood. You know, see it? Vudum.
Vudum, Dr. Abu. Okay. Right. Funding race equality, human rights, giving it some teeth so that it can challenge racist policies and practices. Recommendation number 2, review the Care Quality Commission's inspection process. So it's calling on the government to review the Care Quality Commissioner's inspection process, including disparities. We've heard the word disparities. That's been broken down for us. In the experiences, progression, and disciplinary actions taken against ethnic minority staff in their inspections of healthcare providers. So it sounds like there's you in the inspections of healthcare providers. They seem to be taking more disciplinary action against so-called ethnic minority staff, and there's disparities there. So they're calling for a review. comments on that from Raso Shing. Rise up, Raso Shing.
My sister, when we speak of racism, remember,
I think Russ
He's frozen.
gets stuck.
Oh dear. Okay. All righty. Let's go over to Brother Jammers and we'll bring back in Raso Shing as soon as his line after Brother Jammers. Brother Jammers, disparities in the treatment of just remove Raso Shing there until he manages to get his line stopped and started again. So yes, my brother Raso Shing. Sorry, I mean, Brother Jammers, question over to you. Disparities in treatment of Black and ethnic minority staff in the care sector. It's calling for a review. What say you?
And review means to look at it, look back at something. It's not a physical resource, something. So basically, it's just changing the way how somebody looks at something. So once again, it's a belief or concept and idea, something that you can't see, feel, or touch. So basically, what they're going to do, they want people to look at things in a different way. So that means they don't really have to do anything physically or anything tangible. So basically, they're gonna commission them to spend money on themselves, give themselves money to set up bodies that they set up. Because once again, the criminal, to just take what's happened already, the criminal already has put out the report on himself. It's not nobody else. So the same criminal is going to set up these bodies so he can fund himself and his friends to put out, set up organizations, paperwork and programs so people can see things differently. So all the money that they're going to generate is going to go back into their pockets, you know, to create another system of just paperwork, another paper trail, so people can look at each other differently. None of the actual money in this report is actually going to filter down to the people who need it. So once again, it's another scheme by the criminal to generate more funds for himself, you know. And it's an intellectual, it's something that you can't see, feel, or touch. So once again, it's just another king with no clothes concept. They see it work with the coronavirus and Jesus. So now they've created this report so they could do the same principle. And we're already traumatized by the other two. So this will slip through the network that they've created another money-making concept of reviewing, making us look at things differently, but not actually putting any money back in our pockets. Trigonometry.
They give it the tear. They give it the tear without the gas.
Yeah, they gave us the tear. They increased the tear. Now they're giving us the theory. And gassing all the time.
Wow, wow, wow. So that recommendation is just to create another committee that's going to be funded, you know, by their friends. Oh my gosh, a committee of friends where they'll just create another report and nothing will come out of it. Wow, wow, wow. Welcome, Black Raso Shing. Sorry about that. We're going to look at recommendation number 3, which is about improving the transparency and use of artificial intelligence, saying that issue guidance that clarifies how to apply the Equality Act to algorithms, decision making, and require transparency for public sector bodies, such as applied to decision making concerning individuals. Okay, the use of algorithms now to try and assess the decision-making processes to see if that could produce more transparency. Or isn't this just another backdoor way of bringing in artificial intelligence? What say you, Raso Shing?
Well, remember, my sister, the one world order is based off removing your natural intelligence so that they can have completely control, not just on your sex and your gender, but the way you think, the way you talk, the way you walk. Artificial intelligence can now be injected in your body, just as what your Prime Minister in England has declared about these little micro of artificial intelligence that'll be going around you and beaming this and beaming that. So that tells you that the report that is currently in is no different to what President Biden is presenting to the American and to the black people of America is the same old thing. And do not think I do not want to discuss it, because we need to make our people understand that racism is not just institutional. Building doesn't become racist, it's the people that is in the building. So all of the institution, from the Home Office to the police forces, they're all run by racist people. That's what it is, my sister. So I won't even go to institution. Institution are just buildings, organization. But who runs it? The racist white supremacist. And he can't change. He will never change. All he's doing is trying to show, just as how when Obama became president, the whole of the black melanated world thought it was a new beginning. But what change really happened?
Our brother has frozen again. Wow, in mid-flow there. Okay, he'll probably have to go out and come back in again. Apologies for that. But you know, we're working with the network that we have as best we can. Our brother will come out and come back in again. Okay, so yeah, it's trying to sneak transhumanism through the door on that one there. AI uses AI technology. Recommendation number 4. Over to Dr. Abu. Bridges, divides, and create partnerships, or bridge divides and create partnerships between the police and communities. They're saying develop a minimum standard framework for independently chaired community safeguarding trust groups that scrutinize and problem solve alongside policing and independently inspect forces against this minimum standard. Well, that sounds like a good proposal, doesn't it? They're talking about developing a minimum standards framework that will be independent of the police, chaired by the community. They're calling it, suggesting it's called safeguarding trust groups. And those groups would have the power to scrutinize and problem solve alongside policing and independently inspect the forces against minimum standard. Dr. Abu was talking about dropping his trousers earlier when stopped by the police. What do you have to say about this one, Dr. Abu?
Masis, we have a lot of police group that mix with the community, and we see it over the years. We go to many of these meetings, and some of these black people that sit on this committee want to answer for even the police them. You understand? When they go to some of these meetings and you put certain serious issue to the police officer, then get a little black cheer to cheer it, and believe me, they use their position and forgot about the purpose. You know, what I'm saying that we can't go in a partnership with our jailer blood. We should have planned how to kill that blows not. Go in a partnership with what? Are we crazy? You know what this? You know what this? You know, Rasta Singh, you must know this. You know what this is? That is COVID. That is Kowich. Kowich. You know Kowich from Bakaya. You understand? Okay. You know, we doesn't know that nature give us our weapon. That's all of these police can run out of their riot gear. But we don't know that we don't know that we don't know. Because we're thinking like them. And as I said, our weapon come from our thoughts. You understand? Nature. Because nature gonna destroy them, you know. You understand? But all we got to do, be one with nature. You understand? Be one with nature. From you be one with nature, then you have the power. You have the power. You see what I'm saying? That we does not study the Asian Revolution. We haven't studied the Maroon Revolution. They never have the weapon where the British have, but them have nature. Because even the snake come to their aid. Even the ants come to their aid. Now we want gun, we want bomb only to kill one another blood. You understand? You know? Because we don't know that we don't know that we don't know. I want to give thanks to a group that you won't hear much about. You know, Rise Up Jammers, you know, PASS, they call PASS, Progressive Ancestral Secret Service. And if we support that, then we'll have something running, because what I'm saying, sooner or later, you will start to see we throwing out the uncle. I wouldn't call them Uncle Tom. We have a new name for them, Uncle Arm, because they've been arming us. We must stop calling those people Tom. They are Uncle Arm, and they've been arming us for a long time. I give thanks to PASS, because you're gonna see how PASS gonna start to deal with some of them. Voodoo.
Voodoo, Dr. Abu, as Maxine Grant says here. Ashe, Dr. Abu, nature always corrects itself. Let's go over to another one of the recommendations here in this report. The next recommendation talks about police training. Recommendation number 5, improve training to provide police officers with practical skills to interact with communities. And they say that there's a need to develop a strategy to improve the efficacy and implementation of stop and search, and to de-escalate training ensuring a consistent approach is taken by all police force areas. So over to Brother Jammers. What say you about this recommendation around improving police training so that they can de-escalate sensitive stop and search situations? What say you, Brother Jammers?
They don't get caught out. That's what it is, really, the training. Because there's a big the one of them get caught last year, so they don't want it to happen again, you know. So that's what they need to improve. It. There's a big lie going on there. There's a big lie going on there. These people have the most information about everything. Let's be clear. They can tell you the smallest particle, what it consists of. You know, the quantum theories can tell you the construct of the unseen particles in the universe. They can tell you the farthest reaches of space, what planets and what. They have records on us, on our ancestry. They have records in the museums. They have records and statistics and figures for everything on the planet. They go to Eton, and Eton has produced 19 prime ministers. So they have the science of leadership. They know everything about everything. So you can't tell me they need another report. And look what they've done with all the information. It's 2021 now. You know, the latest mobile phones, the latest in technology is out now. You can't tell me with all the information that they have about us, look at the condition that we're in. So look what they do with all the information they amass. They make sure they keep us in the position that we're in now. So another report is only designed, once again, so they can improve their methods to keep us in the position that we're in now, and if possible monetize it as well, because as we said, we've got Uncle Harms there, and it's 2020 now. We can, down there exposing themselves, we can see who they are, who are applying for the jobs. You know, they're applying for the jobs to fund their, you know, increase their wage packet, running forward to put these processes to keep us in the position that we're in. So the more information that they have is the more ammunition they're going to use against us. You know, it's clear. It's evidence is clear. So as I said, the training is just so that they won't get caught in future.
Well, thank you so much, Brother Jammers. So far, they haven't got anything right in this report. Let's go on to the next recommendation, recommendation 6. Let's go to Russell Shing on this one. It says that the proposal is to replicate the factors of educational success for all communities. So it's now onto the section to do with promoting fairness. They're looking at education, and they're saying basically that they recognize that there are success in some some factors in education, and that needs to be replicated for all communities. And they said invest in meaningful and substantial research to understand and replicate the underlying factors that drive success of high-performing groups. What say you regarding education and replicating success and more research, Brother Rasoshin?
My sister, as what Brother Jammers say, the only retraining of the security forces is to ensure that they are not get caught in public again. And as for the education system, my sister, once you start to teach our children that gender, anyone can change your gender, you don't no longer have a proper constructive society. So whatever you're going to teach on top of that has no purpose for human consumption, because you cannot be teaching young children what they're currently doing in your school throughout England and Europe. So once that basic education that says that it is right to sleep with a man, it is right to sleep with your same gender, and you have a right to choose your nature and your gender. That's it, my sister. It's all over. It's done. It's finished. So we don't want no part of it, no part of none of them, because everything they're doing in their institution is all about the gender, tinkering with our children and telling us that it is right. Well, we know it's not right, and it will never be right. So that alone destroys any plan that they have in their education. And you see already what they're reeling out. So if our people cannot see that you have to take your children from out of the system, out of their process, out of their education, because it's built upon evil, it is built upon corruption. That is why the Rasta man said to the university professor that you fail society because you represent the highest faculty of education, but all you've been doing now is bringing out Eurocentric minds of evil. That's all the university has done, has maintained the status quo of white supremacy. That is why Cesar's role had to be destroyed. But we don't want to destroy his image. We want our people to know the true evil of all these people that they have in their history, and calling them explorers and all manner of narrative than when they were pure evil. And that's what they are. So we must not burn the history of the white man. No, we must preserve it, because within it, we can reveal the evil of him. From Christopher Columbus, let's not destroy. Let us show the children that this is Christopher Columbus, this evil man, and what he stands for. And that goes to Mr. Churchill, that bulldog of England, all of them, what they did to Africa, thinking they're white supremacists and that the black man, his life didn't matter. So we're not into their trickery, and all they're doing is more trick. So those who want to be tricked by them of 500 years, they've been tricking the black man. So who wants to be tricked? Keep on with Babylon. We're not into no more trickery. Magufuli has shown us what we can do in 5 years. That's it. So we only want to do what Magufuli did. And that's what we are doing in the Caribbean. That is why we're now joining with Panama and all the other CARICOM region that are progressive towards Africa unity. That is what's now happening right here in the Caribbean, my sister. And you is in Africa, you know that's what's happening on the continent.
Rise up, Brother Rasoshin. Well, the entire education system is built on pure evil, and therefore, you know, what I need to be thrown out. So we've heard the views of our brother on that particular recommendation. We've got time to go through a few more recommendations. Also, just to let you know this evening, family, that straight after this show, we've got another show coming up. You log out of this one, then log straight into the next show, which is going to be a lecture by, it's an African Center lecture by our brother Franklin Jones. I mean, we're on the topic of education, and he's going to be talking about how they actually brainwash us, how they indoctrinate us through the education system. Some of you were asking us to bring on some Americans. He's from America, doing some great works out there, talking about the science and how we're socialized into seeing ourselves as inferior and Wazungus as superior, how that indoctrination actually happens, and the science behind it. And he learned all of this when he was in the army, and he's going to be sharing all of that with us from straight after this show today. So yeah, keep it locked to the Sister Shanice show. Okay, hopefully I haven't used up all of my free credit on the on this YouTube. I'll probably have to get upgraded to the next level soon. Actually put out my PayPal so that if anyone wants to contribute. We had a couple of people. We had 3 people contribute towards the panel on our special show on Monday. Thank you so much. But I actually found out afterwards that 55% of what you contribute through the super chat, actually Google take that, you know, as their commission. So if you do want to contribute, and we much appreciate love your contributions, let me put the Patreon here. You can support the show via Patreon, or you can also support it via my PayPal. I'll put up my PayPal there. Oh, here it is. This is the PayPal account should you want to make a donation to the works that we're doing here. Okay, you can support on Patreon, and you can support via PayPal. You just say, what is my PayPal? It's coming up in a second. There it is, Trip with Sister Shanice. So go to PayPal, search for @Trip with Sister Shanice, and you should be able to make a donation there if you wish to do so. Rising up the entire family. Okay, so show. Also, let's go back to the recommendations. That's looking at education. Now, surely it must be a good thing if they're talking about, you know, financial investment. This one says, recommendation 7, invest in proven interventions through better targeted funding. Systematically target disparities in educational outcomes between disadvantaged pupils and their peers through funding, considering geographical variation, ethnicity, gender, and socio-economic status. So they seem to be recommending here that the government invests in proven interventions through better targeted funding. Suggesting here, I think, that in the past, targeted has been misdirected or has not hit its target. Is systematic targeting within the education sector to improve outcomes the way forward? Dr. Abu, what say you, my brother?
We must stop. We must organize ourselves, that the taxation where we are paid to this country, it can come to our organization, and then we are the one that distribute to the various organizations them that use it. If we allow these funding things them to go along, this is how they mash up the community. I remember in the 70s, 80s, when we were together, working together, when we were not competitive. The funding put us in a competitive role where we start to compete against one another, or grasp up one another. I've seen people apply for fund and tell life and even brethren blood. You understand? This is what they use these things. You understand? To make we spy on one another. You understand? We don't even want to live like a community now. All we want to do is neighborhood watch. You understand? We in the neighborhood watch business, but we don't want to organize as a community and do certain things. What I'm saying that The funding always come through the local authority. One of the biggest oppressor of African people here in the UK. The local authority is the one that even call the police on us. You understand? The local authority is the one that shut down the building when we set up to give our young people a certain rite of passage. And because the local authority have some of these blacks in it, that's what I'm saying. Don't support them because they are black, because they are just there to stab you in your bloody back. You understand? You know, it's a mind thing, Aya. You know, it's a mind thing. You know, see it, and we have to know right now where we are in this place here, Aya. You know, see, it's we got to do for we. The days of coming into partnership with police and this are over, blood. Them things they're over. You understand? The time that we're gonna take, figure waste energy, figure in partnership with police or in partner with that, better we start to really find some better way to live with one another and work with one another. Because some of us are quick, love to work with the police, but we don't like work with one another. You understand? So I'm saying that I don't want none of them funding. I don't want them thing there. And it's full time we'll Lego them thing there. Because all we've been using it to do is grassing on one another. But we now use it to build up ourselves. If we are going to take the funding, as soon as we get it, we send it to Africa. As soon as we get it, we send it to Africa. You understand? As some see, or send it to the Caribbean where people them need it. You know? We have to start to use tactics, blood. You understand? You know? What we should do, when him wake up in the morning, we should tie up him blouse knot, and when him do everything gone, we should tie him up. You understand? But we do not know how to organize and tie up this man here. You know, see, we allow him to tie we up. No, in this country, European now all of them tie up in a bed. You know how much of them all have handcuff? Oh, the blow knot you do with handcuff in a bed. We are complaining about how the police have stop and search and a handcuff we. And black people there in England in a handcuff in a bed to rotted one. Because you pick up one white you understand? You know, and then we are complaining about, oh, we don't want to be stop and search. So we are doing handcuff in a bed and your face black up and all of them thing there. You understand? Because and this is what they mean a blood. You know, see, I'm satisfied with this. You know, see, but as I said, I rather catch hell with my own than in a partnership with these people. Them, we can't reform the devil, blood. Be wise, Vodum.
Vodum, Dr. Abu. Wow. So, you know, again, a really interesting, very insightful perspective, you know, on funding. Absolutely agree. You know, we need to be in control of that funding, and we need to be distributing that to our community in a collective way, not in a competitive way, because, you know, that's what ruined the unity that we built back in the day when funding came in and individual organizations started separating themselves so that they could all apply for a little bit of the funding. It destroyed our community. Another red herring, another something destroy us. Oh, wow. Rise up, Dr. Abu. We've got to learn from the past going forward. Absolutely agree. A few people in the chat are saying, please hit the like button. That's telling me that the likes are really, really low. Come on, family. You know, we're doing our best to bring you some really educational, informative discussion and debates. And, you know, each one teach one. We're sharing the learning. We're learning from you, contributions that you're making to the show as well. But, you know, we like you to get the like buttons up. And straight after this show, at 10 p.m. GMT time, we've got our brother Franklin Jones. We're going to be talking about black skin, white mind, and the science behind it. I put the link. Brother Rasso Shing, put your thing on mute, please. Let's see if I can mute Brother Rasso Shing there. Yeah, so I've put the link in the chat. So please do go to the chat and copy the link, okay, for the next event, the next show that's going to be coming up after this one. Okay, so let's go back to the report. Fire upon them, Dr. Abu, fire. Somebody agreeing with Dr. Abu there. Yes, and somebody I laugh at the handcuffing on the bed as well. Anyway, let me quickly turn now to the report and bring up another recommendation. Have they got at least one recommendation right? So far, they certainly haven't. They've got it all completely wrong. Let's go back to the report, and this is recommendation, slide down, recommendation 8, which is talking about advancing fairness in the workplace. Develop resources and evidence-based approaches of what works to advance fairness in the workplace and which are readily available to employers. What say you about that? Is this Brother Jammers? Over to Brother Jammers, this one, I think. Is that right?
That's what I'm worried about. Why don't they advance darkness in the workplace? Because somebody lighter than you has already got an advantage. You know, I want darkness to be advanced, not fairness. You know. And anyway, the word fair means travel. It means to block you on the travel. So once again, we've got to stop being fooled by the words that they give us to use, because if you look at the future, look at their planned strategy already, you know, and the next part of this question was about the vaccine passport. Basically, they're trying to monetize everything. They're trying to monetize our movement from A to B. So the future in this land, where everything be written, you know, is that they see everybody as a thing, as a pound sign to make money off. This is why they don't want us to leave, to travel abroad, because they want to make money of us traveling from A to B. You know. So this is the only thing that they see. They just see everything as a thing, not a person. We got to be careful of, once again, taking a name that somebody else has given us and applying it to ourselves, because basically when you take a name that somebody else has given to you and you haven't given it to yourself, it's called an appellation. What is an appellation? Appellation is when somebody's put a drive in you that makes you do something. For instance, the word shy. If I call you shy, that means you're going to move like somebody shy. You're going to drive. If I call you black, which is based on the skin tone, you're going to fight a battle against proving that black is proud, black is powerful. But that's what you are already. So where have you actually got using this word that's been given to you? So we've got to be careful of words that other people give to us, because they're designed to devalue you, you know, designed to take you away from being a human being and transform you. There's a thing called transhumanism, but there's another thing, is transforming you into a belief or a concept that has no tangibility. So when you take a word like race, like black, you lose your sense of being a human. You lose your sense of identity. So we got to be careful, once again, of taking the words, because they're designed to devalue us. And this is what a devaluer is. The deval, what they talk about, is a person who says a sound and you consume the sound. Apple comes from the word appellation, and appellation is the drive that you've taken on, and they make you fear evil, so you don't evaluate. It's better to evaluate, you know. So basically, we got to stop taking on the reports of others, as Dr. Abu said, taking on the words that others give us, realize that they're in competition with us, even though we're the most humane people. We are the humane people by our actions, not by our definition. We need to band together. I say by this time next year, we should have a committee, and we should have a report ready for this time next year, instead of wasting our energy and our time and our intelligence on something that we know already. Let us put together our own report and vote for a committee of our representatives, so we can put ourselves in power. We don't need anybody else to rise as a family. Boom.
Rise up, brother Jammers. Dr. Abu, members in the chat are calling for some Voodoo t-shirts. All right, that's one for you.
We're gonna talk to Brother Delany and thing, you understand? We have to send something to our other department, you understand, you know? Because I don't know how to go about that, so we'll pass it on to the other department.
Rise up, definitely. I'll link you on that. I'm thinking of doing some with Grand Rising and rise up, families. So, yeah, man. No problem one, Dr. Abu and them that too. Jammers, you have to start broke down some words, pan some t-shirt. Russell Shing, you too. We can have a t-shirt shop and we'll make sure that the correct funds go to the
that is what we're doing. We're going to be doing in Trenchtown. We're going to start create our own clothing, our own things, and put the Trenchtown brand, because that's a brand. And as what Brother Jammer say, my sister, right? And what the Dr. Abu said, everything that we've spoken is right on the point. It is right on the point. Only we, my sister, when we speak of all this soul, remember, collateral damage. You wipe out a nation, you kill and murder and slaughter a million. And what does it come down to? That was the first time I heard this new definition, collateral damage. So how many people did you kill in Iraq? How many people have you killed in Africa? All of it is collateral damage, isn't it? That's right. So you see, just exactly. So the words of Babylon and what they use to confuse me. Remember, have you ever experienced going into their court? Your lawyer represents you, and up to now, you do not know what ears represent you on. A decision is made, and up till now, because what? They're talking in their own legal language. And all you can say is yes or no. You cannot give an account. Yes or no. And what they do, they put it to you, and they suppose it to you, but they weren't there with you. So that shows you how much Babylon is evil. We cannot trust them. We've tried them. Remember, my sister, 500 years, we've been to every institution. We've been to every avenue. And all of them still say that the crime that was committed against the black man, that was another time. Just as what that brother is saying. It was a different time. So all this report is doing is to cover their own consciousness, their own evil. And we're not part of covering evil. We expose you of what you are. And we do not sit at the table of the ungodly. No, we do not. And we've had enough experience. Have you ever seen an Indian man, police have their neck and an Indian, their foot on an Indian man neck? No. Have you ever seen the police have their neck, have their foot on a Chinaman, a Chinese youth? No. Have you ever seen a Jewish? Have you ever seen the police? No. But only black man. You will see all the time, no matter where a black man is, the security forces will always kneel upon him and trample him down to the ground. But you've never seen it happen to an Indian child, a Chinese, a Jewish child. You don't see it happen to the white child. You don't see it happen to them. No. So how long are we going to continue thinking that they love us? Remember, if they give us our rights, they have nothing. And because of the fear of that, they cannot give us our rights. So therefore, let us take back what is righteously our rights. And let us leave Babylon alone. That is what it's come down to, my sister. This report is for those who want to remain and live in England, because you're going to have to take the vaccine to live in Babylon. And you're going to have to take their artificial microchip in you. That is the plan of the one world order of the beast and the dragon, without apology. And it's never going to change until when we change it ourselves.
For real. Rise up, brother Rasso Shing. Let's see if we can get through one or two more of these recommendations. I'm so enjoying the comments on these recommendations. Okay, this one is talking about fairness in the workplace. Recommendation number 8 is saying that there's a need to develop resources and evidence-based approaches of what works to advance fairness in the workplace and which are readily available to employers. Dr. Abu, what say you about that recommendation, calling for fairness in the workplace?
As Jamal saying, we don't want to be fair. You understand, you know? Because we've been singing this song all our life. All things white and wonderful, all creatures great and small. You see all of these things, then what I'm saying that there's no fairness in the workplace no more, because I can't go into the workplace right now and get a job because I speak with a little bass. And you know that they always wanted to go into a Michael Jackson. You can't go in there and say, well, go on. They want, hi. And I know you know them thing there. You understand? You know, we have to stop look on the job now and start to, oh, we can create work for ourselves. That's what make us strong, when we start to provide for ourselves. You know, see we are going now. You know, if we were organizing ourselves, the crisis that wouldn't affect us as how it affects us right now, you know. You understand? And it's because a lot of us, we are depending on the man so much. You understand? That even some of them that it called themselves middle class a couple of months ago, then they're we under the class now. You understand? And we have to use all of these things, sis. As I said, these fairness in the workplace where them talk about higher. You understand? You know, it's a pimping situation. You know, they want us to prostitute our children, them. Turn our children them into something that they are not. You understand? And some of us go along with it. You know, see? But as Jamal said, I don't want no fairness. You know, see? I want darkness in it. You know, see? Because that's the only way you can deal with them. You know, see? You know, and as I said before, I can't live like these people. You know, see? Because what these people them are called pleasure is beating. I have a neighbor live next door there, and every night you can hear the beating when I beat them one another, because them have two them was in the cold so long, and then get frost up, so them have to thaw out. Them have to beat them one another. Them have to beat them one another easy if they come. And that we want to be in a, we don't want to be in a them kind of life there. You understand? We are natural people. We are natural people, sis. You understand? You know? So I now look for no fairness. I look for things that is right. It's the right thing we have to look for. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Rise up, Dr. Abu. See if we can squeeze in a couple more. Recommendation number 9, investigate the causes existing ethnic pay disparities. These ones are talking about the pay gap. Undertake a strategic review. I think we've dealt with reviews, so let's see what this next one is. Establish an Office of Health Disparities. Okay, we've heard about disparities, but let's go into this one. It's saying establish a new office to properly target health disparities in the UK, focusing on research, communications, and expertise to reduce health inequalities across all groups. Now, we have recently been talking about the reports that show that Black women, when we go into the hospitals, are 5 times, 4 times, some say 5 times more likely to die in childbirth. You know, some clear inequalities there. This report is suggesting that there needs to be a new office to properly target health disparities in the UK, focusing on research, we heard what that all means, communications and expertise to reduce health inequalities across all groups. What say you, Brother Ras Hoshi? Oh, sorry, you're on mute, Brother Ras. Unmute yourself.
Well, my sister, first and foremost, there is no such thing of trusting them with the care and health care of our people. What I would like to say is this. We now have two rooms. One, those who want to return, know they want to go home to their land, and those who want the opportunity to remain in UK, in Babylon. What I would like to tell those people, you have your right to have your own medical center with your own Black doctors, if so be. You can choose that. But as for us, my sister, we do not trust them, because what they've been doing for so many years of giving our people all these injection and all these syphilis and all these experiments. You know, I can't trust them in the 21st century now that they're armed with microchip and microorganism and artificial intelligence and all these variation of turning man into woman and woman into man. I can't trust their medical institution, my sister. So, you know, that has nothing to do with us. We have to separate both those of we that think Africa is for we. You've got to stop sending your children to their system. We have to have your own health institute centers within our community run by our own people. Now, if Mystery Babylon want to assist our people to do that, then that is up to them. But we're not looking nothing for them, because all we've ever had is evil, my sister. And without apology, a leopard can't change its spot. Evil can never change. What you have to do is abandon yourself from evil. That's what you have got to do with evil. And that's what it is. So I'm finding this discussion very enlightening, because everything that was in the report, when they did the report after the riots that we did in the 80s, you'll find the same things in that one as well. But nothing happens. Remember?
Serious.
Nothing changes, my sister. Because how do you expect the enslaver to change when his future depends on we being depopulated from our continent so he can have access to our resources, the mineral that they need for their modern 2030 vision? That's what it is, my sister, without apology. And it's only another Panzer scam to detract us. Because institution is not the building that create racism. Racism is ingrained in the white man. All of them believe, because they were religiously taught, that the black man needed a soul. We needed to be rescued. We needed to be liberated. We needed another religion. They told us all this foolishness, and their own white people believed it. Well, we don't believe it. We don't believe it.
Right. Rise up, Rasoshi. So, you know, as the watchers, the viewers have heard, we've gone through a number of the recommendations, and, you know, there's no confidence, absolutely no confidence in the report, no confidence either in the recommendations. It's platitude. We've heard all of these sorts of recommendations before. There are reports that have gone before that are gathering dust and still haven't seen the light of recommendations that still haven't seen the light of day. More recommendations to just try and give the impression that something is being done when clearly nothing is happening at all. And recommendations that would probably just create more units, more research, and more work for themselves. So we've heard it from the panel. We've posted your views as we've gone through, and I want to thank you all so much for your input. Dr. Abu, rise up yourself. Brother Jammers, rise up yourself.
Can I before you leave, can I write a report on them? It won't take long. Can I write a report on them? Is that can I have your permission?
Go ahead, Brother Jammers. Go ahead with that report. Thank you. Brother Rasoshi, thank you so much for jumping in.
What Brother Jammers has said, let us show them their report. And the report reads, evil, 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 more evil, evil, evil.
They failed. They got the F.
They got an F for their report. Failure.
They haven't got intelligence to. They're not qualified. Their intelligence is not qualified to give us a report. They failed. They can't. They failed in everything that they put their hands to concerning us. So they don't have the intelligence to. So this is my report on them. Failure.
F. Rise
Evil.
up, rise up. Oh, panel members, what a show it has been. We're now at the top of the hour. We're going to go straight over into another show now with our brother from America, Franklin Jones. I want to thank our resident panel members, Dr. Abu, Brother Jammers, enough love and respect. Brother Rasso Shing, thank you so much for stepping in at such short notice. It's been an absolute privilege and an honor. For those of you who are watching in the chat, thank you so much. The link is here, so you can join us now for our next show, straight up here on the Sister Shanice Show. More power, more peace, love, and
my
light.
sister and brother. Brother Jama, vodom.
Hey, Ashe. Ashe.
Ashe.
Well,